Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video marks the beginning of the week number 80 in this road to 100k realized return challenge. And yeah, this has been a very exciting first few hours of the day when it comes to trading. When I woke up this morning, I had a look at the markets, and this was several hours before the market opened, and the stock market was completely sinking down, and because of the, as you can see here, there was a big fear about the fact that the Bitcoin over the weekend came down in a long way, had a huge drop, and also because of silver and gold also came down in a big way. It's apparently spooked investors over the weekend, and they responded in kind by sinking all the stock market. I recall, and this was probably about 6-7 hours before the trading commenced. I looked at the queues, and the stock was trading at 611, and keeping in mind that this was a 10-point drop for the around 621 that was the closing of the market last Friday. And so it was a huge drop, but just before markets opened, most of those losses have been recovered. And keep in mind, this is not yet the open market, but then when it opened, yeah, it is what basically you see a sea of green, or let's just say a prairie or a landscape full of green. And even so, I was not expecting this kind of turnaround. We still managed to collect quite good premiums out of this, even though of course we could, if we had waited a little bit longer, this would have been even better, because apparently as the markets opened, they basically shrugged off all the fears in terms of what's going on with metals, what's going on with Bitcoin as well. And so yeah, they are now apparently in full steam ahead up. And so we did the best we could with our trades. Now, when it comes to the actual transactions we did, our previous queues calls expired. Now we sold a few other ones, 5 more. And again, as I mentioned in the last video, all the options that we are going to trade this week were going to expire at the end of the week, because we have a lot of events going on this week. We have a lot of earnings coming out. We have also the very important highlight of this week in terms of economic data, which is the employment data on Friday. And I think it's the most important thing is to be able to catch up on all this volatility, and by doing so we can maximize the premiums that we collect. And so even though we don't have that much, we have some data during the week, the ISM manufacturing, the job openings, basically the JOLTS. We have ADP as well. We have the jobless claims. We have here a Fed speak. But then, of course, the biggest highlight is the employment report, and also the consumer sentiment, a little bit less, but the employment data is the most important thing. And so it's important that we get as much volatility into our premiums as much as possible, and we can only do that if we extend the maturity of our options. We also have a lot of earnings coming out this week. I think the best way is to look at this one. We have Palantir here and Teradyne today. I think for today is pretty much it. On Tuesday, tomorrow, we have AMD, and I completely missed this in the last video. Merck, Pepsi, Pfizer, but these are not as important for us, at least. We have PayPal over here. Yeah, we have PayPal. and I think on Wednesday is the biggest day because we have Google here, or Alphabet. We have Qualcomm, and I believe there's another big one around here. No, we don't. But I'm sure we are not done yet in terms of the big ones. Yeah, we have Amazon in here on Thursday. Bristol Myers, which is not as important for us. Fortinet, maybe because Fortinet is cybersecurity. Is still out there. Those who follow my channel for longer and follow the challenge for longer will be familiar with this still out there. And for Friday, yeah, we have market access, but it's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, it's a little bit emptier, but then on Friday, the employment report makes up for that. So now, as things stand at the moment, we sold these calls at 268. I believe it was either 268 or 269. Yeah, it was 269. We collected $1,345 on this. We started before that. We sold 3 calls on the RKK with a 76.5 strike price. Now keep in mind we bought these at 75.50. So if we manage to get these calls exercised and the shares are sold, we will be able to collect $1 per share of capital gain, and of course that leads to a $300 capital gain. We will be breaking even on RQ shares if we manage to sell them. Now, because of the drop that IWM had in pre-trading, which was not completely recovered by the beginning of the trading day, we were able, and of course because also 2 days of worth of maturity have passed, of time to maturity have passed, the shares were, or rather the calls that we have sold last Friday were already quoting at 2 cents, so we bought those back, and we did the same thing. We sold 2 calls expiring at the end of this week, and we received 82 cents per share, which gives us a grand total of $164. And so now we have the trades in here. So yeah, this is going to be another similar week in comparison with the previous one. I believe we will be able to collect something along these lines. So for this week, the take will be around 1,750, possibly a little bit more if we see that ARKK shares will not, or calls will not be in the money. If these shares are not in the money or close to the money in the last few days of the week, we will probably roll down to 75.50 to still collect some premium, because at least we will break even on the shares, and there might still be a chance for us to get rid of these shares and get our money back. Now, for the time being, this is all. Interactive Brokers is again acting up. There's a lot of trading going on. Probably their servers are struggling to keep up with all the transactions that are taking place. You see here trading access is unavailable. But again, this is pretty much it. Fingers crossed this will be a week in which we may be able to sell some shares. But in the meantime, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. I'm also available on LinkedIn in case you need to ask me any questions. And as always, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And we'll reconvene at the end of the week to close out the week number 80 in this challenge. And I'll see you there.